Barney, are you confident hidden here?
No, absolutely not. This is
a trick shot?
This is a forward pack that can absolutely match up against the Sharks forward pack and could possibly be dominant at times. I think the Sharks have gone with size on the bench just to try and counteract that, to be honest. Whether they get enough out of their halves is yet to be seen, but I think they may just have that little bit of extra strike out wide. That little bit of pace that Gumpy mentioned in the preview to the year, the Canberra do seem to look a little bit slow on the outside edges, and without Xavier Savage in there, that doesn't help either. So I've got a couple of question marks on the defence of the Canberra's outside backs, and I think the Sharks may just score enough points to just pip the Canberra Raiders 1-12. I've got Nakora first try scorer, and going off his form in the Indigenous game and the last trial that they played, he's probably a smoky for back row of the year, to be honest. If he can put that performance out the majority of the season, he'll be putting up some big numbers.
2 years ago, I was in love with the bloke, and last year he...
And if Sharks are going to win, Nico's going to be man of the match because he's going to have to conjure up the points because I can't see Matt Moylan doing it.
Gumpy.
Yeah, I think the Sharks are morals. I'm sorry to say that when you use the word moral, Barney, teams tend to not win.
How dare you?
Look, I just think the Raiders are slow. I think, I don't see them being any better than they were last year. Like, reading out their team, there's not really any difference. Fogarty was going to be their point of difference. The kid is probably going to be good, Schneider, but it's his first real game there. I think the Sharks have got some speed. I think they've got some toughness in defence. I think the Sharks might even win 13+ in the game. I don't like picking 13+ in round one, but I think they're a pretty good thing. And you know what? I know much maligned Matt Moylan as a player and haven't lived up to his potential, but I think if Fitzgibbon can get him going and Moylan's fit, I think he's probably a really good foil with Nicho Hines. And it could be something that really works for them. But again, it's all on potential for Matt Moylan. He's got to actually do it. But I'm going to say Katoa to score the first try for the Sharks. And I'm going to go for the much underrated Will Kennedy as man of the match. I really like him as a player.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we didn't see a lot of him in the trial, really. Does he suit where they might be headed as a team? Does Will suggesting that maybe it might help his game actually because they're going to straighten up and play a lot straighter through the middle, and he's got the pace to be that sort of
the ruck sniffing on the outside.
Yeah, or the ruck sniffing.
Sort of a Tom Trbojevic mould, I guess you could say, in terms of like popping up around the ruck.
Look, his favourite play was always the sweep around the back, but yeah, if they're going to start running angles back in and inside and giving Nicho Hines options on his inside as well, there will be opportunities back through the middle of the ruck. So.
I'm just a little disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I don't know how Andrew Fafita makes their 17, to be honest. That's disappointing to me, and he probably won't when McInnes is playing. And
Wade Graham and McInnes comes back.
And McInnes is probably not, and he's probably there because he's the 19th or 20th pick, and they've got a couple missing.
I was going to save this question, but
I still think they must have somebody else that's going to offer
Fafita did have a good preseason, to his credit, though.
And I know he had the injury and stuff, but I just don't know that he's slow. And
what does it say for Trindle and Tracy not making the 25?
Well, Trindle's suspended.
Oh, he's too.
Tracy, there's some question marks there. Obviously, Fitzy likes what he sees out of Metcalf more than what he likes to see than what he's seen out of Tracy during the off season. So.
Well, what lets Tracy down a little bit is probably his versatility as well. Like Fitzgibbon might see him more as a centre
realistically, Brayley looks like the only hooker that's going to play 90 minutes this year, apart from maybe Reid Mahoney for the Eels. The rest of them are all basically got interchange hookers coming off the bench. And if Blake needed a rest, you might find he might find his way back in there. But
I think that if I was the coach, I'd be concerned about Tracy's defence, and I reckon Fitzgibbon will pick his best 17 defenders.
Defensive side.
He'll pick his best 17 defenders, and if that guy's not part of his best 17 defenders, he'll say improve or you're going to play Reggie's.
Yep. Pop that mark up again, Compy, after you finish your dart. Just near your mouth, that's it. I'm going to go with the Sharks 112. And if you like the Sharks, they're $1.90.
I know they're
it's good value.
I'm on.
Good shopping.
Don't worry about that. I'm on.
I'm going. You took the words out of mouth for a little bit. Sharks, I'm going 1 to 12. Don't know how wet Canberra is, but can't imagine it's
It wouldn't be
Pleasantville
dry.
down there. Mulatalo, first try scorer at centre, causing issues to that back line. And Nico, if they're going to win, Nico's going to have his hands on a lot of that. Ollie?
So I agree with Gump that I think Cronulla are morals, but I still feel like it'll be 1 to 12. I just feel like we're more likely to get a 13-plus performance out of Cronulla than Canberra winning at all. I'm sort of just looking at the two sides. I'm probably tipping this one to be the most entertaining, I guess, game of the weekend. I think there'll be plenty of points scored at least by Cronulla, which is why I'm so confident in them. And it's going to be coming from that back five, right? So my first try scorer is going to have to be, I'll go Matt Ikuvalu on his debut for the club, but I'm actually going to go a forward as my man of the match. I'm going to say it's Dale Finucane. I'm going to say he puts on an 80-minute performance and sort of keeps them steered in the right direction there. But, we're talking about this Craig Fitzgibbon bloke. I don't even know who he is because he's not coaching Cronulla this weekend. It is
big out.
Probably the greatest caretaker coach of all time, Josh Hannay. I hope that bloke never actually coaches in the NRL and just goes from
just gets flown in
from club to club and just fills in for different teams.
Well, I think that Steve Price will be the one that'll really look after him this week. I think he's probably their second best or their next in line.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Just on Molitano going into the centres, I really like it, to be honest. Big body, very quick, good footwork, and he can pass as well. So I think that's probably a positive for the
He's
Sharks.
enthusiastic. He
absolutely. He's
brings
in
energy.
everything.
He's a
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
energy player, Mulatalo. I like him.
Oh, definitely. He's a representative player.
Yeah.
Just not for Queensland.
Just probably not for anybody now.
Yeah,
They've
exactly.
stuffed it up.
Yeah, and it is a bit of a tragedy for him. But anyway, we get to